In Simple and Out, you have all your users on your Simple and Out board. But sometimes you might have a situation where a user has left you and you want to take that user off the board, but you don't want to get rid of all of that historical data that the user has. So maybe all their histories of in and outs and all of this other stuff that Simple and Out provides. So that way you don't have to worry about exporting it all when a user leaves. For that purpose, we have a feature called Archive Users, which allows you to remove somebody from the board, but still be able to run all the reports on them. So let's check that feature out today. So here I have my Simple and Out board for Arlington Financial, our test company. And let's assume for this moment that Samantha Jensen here has left us. She's no longer with us anymore, but we want to keep that data for the future. So let's go ahead and click on Samantha Jensen, and then I'll go to Edit Users in the dialog that comes up. And we have an option at the bottom of this page, after you see all of her information, for archiving users. Now, you can archive this user or you can delete the user. Archiving the user allows you to still keep that data around, run reports, etc. Where if you delete the user is permanently gone and they do not come back. So you have to make sure that you choose whichever option's best for you. In this case, I'm going to choose Archive User. And I'll get a warning here that says, are you sure you really want to do this? Because the user will be logged out of any and all apps that they're in. They'll be removed from all the groups that they're currently in. Any scheduled statuses they have coming later will be deleted because, of course, they won't be on the board anymore to have them applied. And if you unarchive them in the future, attempt to restore them, then the user will have to choose a new password. And that's because, people might not remember their password over time, so we send them another email and let them start basically from scratch with their passwords. This is all okay with me for now because I just want this user to be off the board, so I'm going to click OK. And there it is. So now if we look at our board, we'll notice that user's gone. So where did the user go? Well, if we click on Settings and Archived Users over here on the left, here's a list of all of our archived users. So you can see the user and you have the ability to either unarchive them and get them back, or you can delete the user entirely, thereby freeing up all that data. It's important to point out at this moment that an archived user still counts towards your user count. So whatever plan you're on for Simple and Out is usually capped at a number of users. So the archived users still count towards that because we're still keeping all your data. You can still run reports on these users and you can still get them back. If you want that user permanently gone, you can delete them, and then, of course, they won't count towards your limit. Okay, so before we go ahead and do this, let's go ahead and take a look at reports. So remember, now that Samantha Jensen is archived, we can still run reports on Samantha Jensen. So if I'm on the time card report here, and I'll just click Run Report, and we'll see a bunch of reports for a bunch of users, you'll notice that Samantha is not in this list, and it's because Samantha is archived. So we're only going to show you, by default, reports for the people who are active on your board. But I can use this filter up here to filter. And if I want Samantha here, you'll see I get a header called Archive Users, and I can run this report just for Samantha. So as you can see, Samantha's data is still intact. It's still in place on our Simple and Out board, but I'll have to go searching for those archived users in order to be able to run the reports. And this applies to pretty much all the reports we have in Simple and Out. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is how to get a user back. So if I go back to Settings, and I'll go back to Archived Users here, let's go ahead and unarchive Samantha. Let's say Samantha's come back to us, or maybe she's back from a long extended leave, and you want her back on the board. So I'll click on Archived Users. Now, first thing I'll have to do is I'll have to pick an email, because we make sure when the user's archived, we take out their email address. Email addresses are another one of those things that tend to change, and so we want to make sure we get it right. So you'll have to enter an email address. Let's just say it's Samantha at Okay, and so you can add details, you can add other things as well. Role is another important thing here. We require you to choose a role. By default, it'll just be whatever the default role is in your company, but you can choose this to any other user that you wish, or any other role that you wish. Make sure you assign this to the proper role, of course, so that your user comes back with the permissions that you're expecting. In this case, I'm going to leave it as regular user. And of course, we have an entire different video on role management if you want to check that out. The last thing I want to point out is password. So just like creating a brand new user from scratch, the password here will be blank, and we will send the user an email and ask them to choose a brand new password to get started all over again. just because obviously we want to make sure that they remember their password, and the best way to remember their password is to choose a new one. So I'm going to click Unarchive User. This is a picture of what the email will look like that the user will get. It'll look just the same as it looks if they were starting from scratch. So they'll get this thing with the click to begin using Simple and Out button, and that button will allow them to choose their password and get started. Now on our archives page here, you'll notice we have no more archived users. And if I click up here on our name to go back to the board, then lo and behold, here's Samantha Jensen again, back from the archives. So that is archiving users on Simple and Out. It's a great way to keep your user data without having your users have to appear on the board.